This will be the Bitcoin video recap from yesterday that we did, and I'll also break down the NQ trade that led to these gains. Stay tuned. Hello everyone and welcome to Market Mapper. I started this channel to give new and experienced traders insight on how I break down the markets and try to do my best to pinpoint areas for the next impulse leg or retracement pullback. In this video, I will start with blank charts and walk you through what I'm looking at. I use a combination of ICT, moving averages, and supply and demand zones. And at the end of each video, all the indicators and notations will be left on the chart for the next day, so we could see how our analysis played out. I will be doing these every day to see how we progress and pinpoint areas where we can capture massive moves. If you like this kind of content, please like and subscribe, turn on notification bell, because I'll be releasing these every day. Also in the comments, if you find this helpful and would like me to break down any other stocks for future videos, let me know. Let's get into it. All right, so coming back into it, I believe where we left off was about right here. A lot of volatility. Now you can see we plotted this 1 hour fair value gap yesterday. You could see how price came down, fully respected it, wicked right through here. We plotted this market structure shift and bounced. I mean, this is a massive bounce. Came down and tested this again. Respected that order block and that 1 hour fair value gap. And then pushed higher. And where did it wick through all-time highs? Right here. Before selling off, breaking through this 1 hour fair value gap, sweeping the sell side, and it is incredibly volatile. Rubber band snap back up. Now let's dive into this a little bit more. So we're on a 5-minute time frame, and you could see it's just bouncing around these Fibonacci's here. This was actually our Fibonacci projection, which lined up with all-time high right here. Where did we get that information? This bottom to this top before this big pullback right here. Let's go to a 15-minute, see it a little better. So we did that yesterday. Pulled back into this zone. It's actually currently hanging around in this zone still respecting these old levels. Right up to this negative 168 fib projection. Unbelievable. All right, I'm going to delete that. Clean everything up a little bit. We pulled back to this -3 standard deviation. Where did we get that? From this leg. This first leg here. From the bottom at 38,514 to basically 44,000. That is a -3 standard deviation from that move right there. I realize that some people don't have access to the paid version, so I'll be doing these on the unpaid version. So we might get some pop-ups here and there. And all I'm going to be using is ICT, Concepts, LuxAlgo, and the 4 EMA, but I only keep on the 10 and the 20. Let's see if we can find anything else in this spot. I'm going to just go back up to a weekly. It's changed quite a bit. So this was the 50% of our weekly Um, you know what? Look at this. So on a daily time frame, we pulled back and bounced. Not only was it the -3 standard deviation, but it was also into this daily fair value gap here. Almost to the consequent encroachment of that, of the 50% mark there. Let's mark that out for future reference. Okay. Got that marked out there. Delete that. So what I'm going to do is, since we already have our higher zones marked out, actually I can adjust this top there. I'm going to delete that leg up, clean the charts up a little bit. You can see how we held the 10, did not close below it. It's still bullish in my opinion that we will end up going higher. So if we're still looking to pull back a little bit more, we could be looking for the 50% of this daily fair value gap. I would still leave this CE wick here. That's old levels that will be respected, and the 38% retracement of this. 38% is kind of a bare minimum as far as big runs for a pullback in order to continue higher. If we want to see on a shorter time frame, we could do another one right here and see how these levels are being respected. Which, I mean, there you go. So from this leg here to the top, you could see it pulled back 50% of that move into this daily fair value gap and was respected. So I just wanted to point out, yesterday we marked out this 1 hour fair value gap. You could see how much it was respected. Just wicks. Wicks do the damage, bodies tell the story, right? Came back and respected this order block. If you were looking to short this thing, I would wait for this 1 hour to inverse. I mean, as soon as it broke through, finally, came down and it wicked back up and it retested it. Do you see how the bodies were unable to get in there? They closed right below it. That would have been your low risk short. Enter here, stop above here. And then obviously it made a nice move the rest of the way down. So if I was looking for a long position, there's a bullish fair value gap as well that got inversed. I'd probably wait for that to re-inverse to go long. But we are respecting this 23 and 38 right here. You could look for something here. If we drop down to a 15-minute chart, we currently have a bullish fair value gap that is being respected. Right on it. Right on it. So you could try and wait for a consequent encroachment of that and push higher, but as you could see on a hourly time frame, we're respecting this 10 EMA on the way down. So some hurdles to climb back up, and let's see, where could we go? Let's see where we could go. So once again, I would take, on an hourly time frame, I would take my fib tool, top of that wick, bottom of that wick. We're right at a 32, and it lines up with this fair value gap here. So I would expect to see a 61, possibly. So what I'd like to see for a good long would be this future inverse fair value gap on a 1 hour time frame. We'll check back tomorrow on that and see if we can pop up, get through it with displacement, come back into it, respect it, and push higher. I'm going to go ahead and remove that one. We'll leave everything else the same. I'll change the colors on the fibs for the bounce to orange, maybe. Here, blue. And that'll be our targets on the bounce back up to all-time highs. 50% of this bounce is right underneath this 1 hour fair value gap. So you can see how it's been disrespecting it. We want to, let's see if we can do, oh, where's the arrows or whatever? I'll just draw it. Oh, Pat, there it is. Okay. So what we're looking for, maybe something like this. This 61, respect this, and continue up. Right? Hopefully something like that. We can leave that up, see how it plays out. All right, I just wanted to break down that NQ trade real quick. So, daily time frame, same thing that we're doing with Bitcoin. We have the daily fair value gap. Look at this. Respected the CE of a daily fair value gap to the penny there. Maybe a tiny bit of slippage. Well, we'll mark it and we'll check it. Let's see. Sorry for the background noise. I have kids and I cannot escape them. All right, so it's going to be the 1 day 50% of the CE here, right? I like to do that. That way I can delete this, remove. There you go. Now let's drop down to a lower time frame here so we could see where it actually went. Look at that. 50% consequent encroachment of a daily fair value gap. That is where I went long. I avoided all of it. Well, I can't actually say I avoided all of it because I did try to take a small position when we tapped the 20 EMA. And it was a pretty good, it was a 50-point bounce from there. And then ultimately turned around and went lower. So then I was waiting for this. So this can not only be used in Bitcoin, but I use it on everything, right? This whole same setup. Where could we go from here if we decide to continue to keep pulling back? Well, we're hanging around the 23. So there's about 3 confluences there where you could build a long thesis. You don't even need to mess with any of this down here, right? You can look for EMAs on a higher time frame, fair value gaps on a higher time frame, and Fibonacci retracements. I mean, this is a golden zone to look for a bounce, and we had a fantastic bounce right at the end of the day. Now, also, I would be keeping in mind that we inversed a daily fair value gap right here. So you could expect a move possibly back up to here, We will leave this on the chart as well. Oops. 50%. This is a IFBG on a 1-day time frame. Inverse fair value gap on a higher time frame up here. So why don't we leave this, everything just like this? We will come back and see, what happens when we start getting up into this area. You will see. As far as a bounce is concerned, why don't we do another fib to see where we're at? If we get up to a 50%, and look at the 50% lines up with the bottom of this fair value gap on a daily time frame. You just cannot make that up, right? Let's change the colors on that for the bounce. We'll do green to see where that goes. But, currently, we're pointing to up movement here. A daily close below the 10, it's not so great. We have bearish PD arrays above on a higher time frame. Seasonality, I do not believe is on our side yet. So I would like to see where we go from here. But we may have a significant bounce. So I'd be keeping these levels in mind, right? 18,040, 18,105. And we will check back tomorrow. Thanks for watching.